Across the world, farmers, pastoralists and fisherfolk play a critical role by providing food for us all. As they face the challenges of climate change and other environmental, financial or social constraints, there is pressure for farmers to transition their food systems towards a more sustainable and resilient pathway, where there is less dependence on external resources such as pesticides and fertilizers. Farmer field schools provide a platform where smallholder farmers can come together to exchange information, test practices, and co-create innovations. At the same time, farmers gain critical insights and skills that allow them to transition towards healthy and sustainable food and agriculture systems. Placing farmers at the heart of the learning and solution-finding process, FAO developed farmer field schools in the 1980s, and they continue to support field schools globally, together with an increasing number of partners from other UN organizations, national and international NGOs, governments, farmers' organizations, and the private sector. In a typical farmer field school, a group of around 25 food producers from the same village meets regularly throughout the production cycle. Trained facilitators from the government, NGOs, or farmer organizations support participants throughout their learning. Members start by assessing the production problems they face and their farming priorities, and then designing and conducting practical experiments to test interesting practices. They set up 2 or more comparative fields or groups of animals, which they observe over the course of a full production cycle. One plot or group is for farming as usual and is used as a control field, while the second is a test field where participants can experiment with alternative practices. In field schools on integrated pest management, the farmers might use routine pesticide applications in the control field and experiment with biological control using natural enemies in the test field. In livestock field schools, pastoralists might compare the effectiveness of different feeding approaches. The field school's regular meetings are made up of 3 parts. First, the producers divide into smaller subgroups to conduct an agro-ecosystem analysis. This involves learning to observe, record, and analyze the comparative fields or groups to understand the dynamics of local agro-ecosystems. They then discuss their findings with the larger group, decide on the best way forward, and implement this in the experimental plots or animal groups. The facilitators are trained in non-formal education and facilitation processes, as well as technical topics and techniques applying throughout an entire production cycle. They also receive training on facilitating women's participation, so that all participants can fully benefit from the field schools and learn to make better informed decisions. The second aspect focuses on special topics, which aim to deepen participants' practical understanding of key questions. The facilitator might show farmers how to set up insect zoos to observe pest behavior or study relationships between pests and beneficial insects. They may share visual soil assessment techniques to compare the soil health of different samples. Livestock producers might learn and try different methods for milk preservation. Over time, special topics can also cover farming as a business or life skills. The third aspect is group dynamics, a key skill towards building mutual trust and joint problem-solving amongst group members. Through a structured learning process, farmer field schools enable farmers to become experts in their own fields, developing strong critical and analytical skills and empowering them to make decisions that lead to more resilient agricultural production systems. And often, farmer field schools can become a platform for further collective action as groups of farmers work together to solve larger challenges affecting their community. From an initial training approach on pest management in Southeast Asia, farmer field schools have become a constantly evolving educational approach that covers different topics across all agricultural production systems. Farmer field schools will continue to run across the world, every year empowering 400,000 to 1 million smallholders to manage their resources in the most effective and sustainable way.